Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And for those of you joining me for the first time, my name is Melissa Reed and I'm a mixed media artist. Today we are going to do an experiment that I've been wanting to do for a while, which is using some liquid media on the Gelli plate here. So I've got a few different things that I want to try. I've got my watercolor set here. I have some golden high flow acrylics. I've got some different colors here: titanium white, quinacridone, nickel azo gold, carbon black. I also have some India ink in black and white, and then I'm going to just be using some watered down acrylic paint. So I just want to see what kind of textures I can get. I've seen this done, and I really like some of the look that it can produce. I'm also going to be trying it on several different types of paper. I have some watercolor paper from Hippie Crafter, which there is some information on them in my description. I've also got some rice paper, some tissue paper, and I may use either some craft paper or just some copy paper to see what kind of effects we can get. So I'm excited to see what turns out from this. And if you've tried this before, let me know what you think and stick around. Let's see what happens. Okay, the first thing I'm going to play with here are my golden high flow acrylics. That is some carbon black, and I'm just taking the acrylic by itself and a paintbrush and just kind of spreading it around in like stripes because I want to see what I can get with that. I'm picking it up on some tissue paper, and the effect that I get from this is pretty cool. You can really see each and every individual little drop and kind of like cell formation on there. I like that effect, and I think that's probably the type of effect we're going to get with just about everything, but we'll see what happens here. I'm just cleaning off the plate in between with some water and a paper towel. Now I'm going in with that same kind of the golden acrylic there. That is a burnt sienna, and I'm adding water to it to spread it out even further, and I'm using my 2-inch flat brush there, going in the opposite direction to get some nice columns as opposed to the rows that I made on the last one. And this piece I'm picking up with a piece of rice paper, and you can see the pattern come up already. Now when I lay that paper down, because there is so much liquid on the plate, I'm barely touching that. So like you would normally really rub the paper to get all of that design up, you don't have to do that. But you can see all of that really fine design on there. I'm really liking this technique a lot so far. So keeping with those high flows, I am actually just going to use some of the titanium white on there. And I still left a little bit of the burnt sienna on there, which is totally fine because I don't mind if they're going to mix. In fact, I end up deciding to add some other colors to it. Went in again with the brush and a little bit of water, and I'm going ahead and adding some of that carbon black, and then I do add a little bit of the burnt sienna on top of there too, just to see what happens when I mix the colors. I did add some more water, so along with the natural kind of pooling of the paint, the beating up of the paint, I'm adding more water to get those droplets, and I'm pulling that with a sheet of the Hippie Crafter watercolor paper. And let's take a look and see what happens there. That looks really cool. I could see that being the beginning background of like maybe an abstract landscape or something like that. It's got just those wonderful, like naturally occurring kind of like hill formations in the background. Plus, there's all sorts of just different texture and little tiny beaded up parts on there. I don't know what you want to call them, but I think I really like that technique as well. I could see it having a lot of potential with a future project. Here I'm using some of the India ink, and I'm just putting that straight onto the plate there. That I believe it's a black, I can't remember the name of the black, but I decide to spread that around with my color shaper. And I like that because while it is still, of course, beating up, because that's the nature of what the fluid is going to do on the gel plate, you still get some of those nice line marks, so it almost creates those columns again. And that one, when I set it down, you could see where the giant puddles were. It definitely puddled up on the paper, but it picked up again all of the detail on there, and I can just really see using this as a collage paper with something and doing a whole series. So I have a lot of ink or a lot of the acrylic left on the plate there, so I thought I would just try to pick that up with a little bit of my matte gel medium and kind of just see what was left on there and um, what I'm going to get from that. Also, it's going to help me clean off the plate so that I don't have to just waste all of that ink or all of that paint. I keep saying ink, but you know what I mean. And so it's serving two purposes. I'm cleaning the plate and also getting another paper out of that, because as you can see when I pull this up, and I'm being very gentle with it because I'm using tissue paper here, but you can see each and every little mark that was on that plate, which, I mean, that's the nature of the gel plate to begin with. But when you've got these little liquid marks on there, I just think it's a really cool idea. So for this next one, I'm using some of the Hippie Crafter acrylic paint just to kind of play around and see what I can get. I don't have the names of those colors off the top of my head. I got sent a box of these 2-ounce little acrylic paints, and I'm adding some water to my plate there and just letting it bead up, moving it all around with the brayer and getting different effects and different patterns. And you can see it beading up there. I wanted to just use some color this time because the last several have been done in just black, white, and burnt sienna. So I wanted to get some blues and greens in there. And you can see right where I pointed there, all of the kind of like beading starting up there. And I just love the way that looks. But it gave me an idea on this one, which I'm going to use in a couple coming up here in the future. And it's such a cool technique and gives a really cool look. So when I pull this up, this is also done on a piece of the watercolor paper. I wanted to really kind of see what I could get from that on a surface meant to pull up a wet media. So I added a little bit of black then to this just to kind of see what I could come up with. I just used a little bit of that black India ink, and I'm kind of just spreading it around with the brayer, and it's mixing with some of the colors underneath, but I don't mind that too much. And then I decide to just pick that up with a piece of rice paper, and there was a little too much liquid on there, so there's a lot of black blobs, so definitely kind of want to be careful of that. That was just a texture roller that I used to just see if anything weird would happen, but it didn't. So now I'm going in with just some regular Liquitex titanium white straight out of the tube paint, and I'm adding a good bit of water to it. Now this is where things started getting interesting. So I'm using the brayer to spread it around, but then I start noticing some different patterns and things emerging in there from the way that I'm using the brayer. So typically you would use the brayer to spread the paint to pick up an image from the plate, but I'm actually using it as a tool to lay down a texture because it combines with all of that highly liquidy media that you're using on there, and it encourages these neat little patterns to form. You'll start seeing them here. So I just really start going in and pushing that idea and playing with it just to see what I can get. Now, because this is a very liquid kind of media that I'm using on here, I decided to let this dry completely because I wanted to see what would happen and how much more movement I could get out of the paint. So I let it dry. As you can see here, I'm using my hair dryer to speed the process up along. Now, use cool heat on there because you can actually damage your plate, but I did that, and I also let it sit for quite a while because it really took a long time for all of that liquid to absorb up. But once you have that dry, you can see these neat little, I don't even know what you want to call them on there. They're just like little fingers of texture. And I spread a little bit of my matte gel medium down on there. And because I used a white paint, I'm picking this up on just a piece of black cardstock that I had hanging around. And again, I let this dry really, really well. I want to say I let that dry for probably a good half hour, and some of it's still lifted, but look at that awesome texture. That is just so cool, and it just makes me want to make a whole bunch of these and do some kind of crazy abstract collage with them. I don't know. But I'm just cleaning off the plate a little bit here. I'm definitely going to do another one of those because I love the way that turned out. I think I want to do something with color the next time, though. I like trying things just with either black or white the first time to kind of just get a feel for the process and the technique. But then I like to try to change it up a little bit. So I've got this is a golden, I think that's a turquoise. That is a fluid acrylic, not the high flow, but a fluid acrylic. And I'm really blending that in with some water there on the plate with my brayer. And I want to get it to a point where it is doing that pulling and kind of beating up. So I just go in and start playing around with different ideas. I don't really like that, so I smooth it over, and then I start making these swirly designs, and that's what I ended up going with. Wasn't sure exactly how it was going to translate to a print or even what color I was going to pull it with yet at this point, but I like the way it's looking. And not only are the swirls in there, and you can't really see it just yet, but you can kind of see it at the top there. It beaded up in some places and it just looks super cool. I decided in the end to go ahead and pull it up with a metallic, so I've got some Artist Loft copper there. Now I left that fairly thick, a little thicker than I would normally use as a pull-up color, but there's a lot of paint on there and I really needed it to take a little bit longer to saturate that paint underneath. And so again, I let that sit and dry for quite a while. And that is on rice paper too. And this one I decided to peel off. I turned the whole thing over and peeled the plate off of the paper instead of the paper off of the plate. I like to do that when it's a little thicker and there's more of a chance to rip. But that looks so cool. I mean, those colors together, first of all, copper and teal, I think are one of the most beautiful color combinations, but you can see each and every detail of each and every swirl that I put in there with that brayer, and I just think it looks so interesting. I don't know, tell me what you guys think, but I would like to definitely see more like this and create some kind of cool project to do with them. So now I'm pulling out the watercolors because that was actually my inspiration for this whole video, is to try watercolor, but then I had all of these other ideas too, so I decided to combine them all together. So I sprayed that whole watercolor set to start with, and if you're interested in that set, I do have a link to that and everything else that I'm using here in the description. But I'm just going in with different greens and blues and just playing around with the amount of water in the paint, going in with some of them more on the drier side, and just kind of going to see what's going to happen. That I picked up with a piece of rice paper. It's interesting on the watercolors because yes, there are those blobs, but look at all of those tiny, tiny little droplets of colored paint on there. And I don't know, there's just something about that. I really like the way that looks, and there's just so much potential. Each of those little teeny tiny marks is visible on there, and it's just a technique that I am really starting to love. So I decided to do another one there, but this time I'm using way less water, so barely any at all. And it kind of looks like there's hardly any paint going onto the plate, but you'll see here when I pull it up, there's actually quite a bit of paint. It's just that because it beads up so much, you really can't see it until I actually pick it up. And I'm just going in with several different colors of red, and I decide to pull up those those puddles there at the top because I don't necessarily like the way that looks. I don't really want those big blobs on the paper when I lift it up. So I did not let that dry. I just went in with a sheet of the rice paper. I've been using a lot of the rice paper for this technique. It works really well. But again, look at those tiny little droplets. I don't know, there's just something about it. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Tell me what you think, but I just really like the way that looks. I hope you can see it as well as I can in person. I'm not sure if you can see it that well on the screen. Okay, so for this one, I'm going back in with a little more of my high flow, and I'm using that carbon black. I'm using the color shaper again. So what I'm doing here that's just slightly different, I'm really spreading that paint out over the board there. And by doing that, it's getting the paint to move in different shapes from using the color shaper to pull it along, but it's also spreading it out and therefore drying it a little bit. And that makes it darker in some areas. There's a lot more contrast. It's still beaded up, so you still get that nice little cell look to it, but you also get the added bonus of having all of those wonderful little squares in there as well. I don't know if you can really see all the detail there, but look at all those tiny little cells that popped out in there. It's just such a cool technique. I highly recommend you try it. So one more here. This is the last one that I'm going to do, and I'm basically using that same technique that I did with the brayer and the swirls. I'm using a little bit of Liquitex fluorescent red. I added a fair amount of water to it, and the interesting thing about the fluorescent red is that you can't really see it that well when it's on the plate there, but when you go to pick it up, which I'm doing with a little bit of the golden Indian yellow, you'll really be able to see it. So again, I'm spreading a fairly thick layer of that on there, just so it's going to be able to grab all of that paint that was puddled up on there, which is now dry. Again, I'm letting that sit on there for a fairly long time, and when I pull it up, look at these textures. Like, this is just so cool. I don't even know what you would call that, but there's something organic about it. Like, I don't know, like leather or some sort of skin or something. I don't know. It's just very interesting and visceral, and I just love the way it looks. I'm very interested to see what I end up doing with these. Yeah, I never know. It's always kind of a fun game that I play. But yeah, so these are the finished pieces. I'm going to pull them all out and show you again. And I don't even know which one I like best. I think they're all pretty neat. You can let me know which ones you like or which techniques you like best. Let me know if you've tried any of these or if you have any of your own that you would like to share with us. But anyway, thank you all again for stopping by. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, go ahead and click the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if you liked what you saw. Once again, YouTube is doing that thing where I had somebody just tell me yesterday that they're not getting notifications for my videos and they had a whole bunch to catch up on. And I'm sorry that that's happening. I wish I knew why, and I wish there was some way to fix that. But just click the bell notification and hopefully you'll be notified. But I do put a video out every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And yeah, I hope to see you back again for the next one. Have a great day.